Right.
Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back to Authentically Peculiar with Marcia. I have one of my favorite people with me today. It took me finding her on Facebook out of all places because we had lost connection. Today I have with me Miss Sonja Smith. Not only is she my former clerk that literally, y'all, ran the unit. I just want to put that out there because, yeah, she held it down for you, girl. Um, we both went to the VA, and I think I followed you to the VA. Yeah,
Yes.
I followed you to the VA, and so and so Sonja is actually she originated, is born and raised in Chicago, lives in Kissimmee, Florida, works at the Veterans Affairs. We're in two different departments, has a beautiful, helpful spirit, y'all. Like, I don't care what it is. If I call Sonja or if I text her and say, hey, I need some insight on this, she will come to the rescue every time. You'll find her trying out new things, traveling, because that's what we're talking about today, solo travel, traveling domestically and internationally. She has entitled herself Sun Vibes, which I love. Am I pronouncing that right?
It's
Sun,
sunny vibes, sunny
Sunny
vibes.
Vibes. I should have known. Sunny Vibes, which has actually inspired others to solo travel. So many times we miss out on opportunities to travel because we're waiting on folks. And Sonja is going to help us out today. She is a mother of three grown people, even though she looks like a baby herself. But she is on a mission to live her absolute best life to the fullest. Sonja, thank you for joining me today on Authentically Peculiar with Marcia.
Oh,
Welcome
thank
aboard.
you. Thank you for having me to discuss what I love to do, which is travel.
Yes.
And I am a big, big, big proponent of traveling solo. It is
Mhm.
the best type of traveling you will ever do. I'm not waiting on nobody to
At
go
all.
nowhere
At all.
because I do a lot of group
Mhm.
traveling and friends and family and things like that. And the one thing that I find is all the different personalities trying to get everybody up, trying to get everybody out. You got people that want to sleep and this and that. I sleep when I get home or I
Mhm.
sleep when I'm
Mhm.
dead. When I
Right.
go somewhere, it's time to, as soon as my feet hit the ground, it's time to start
Running.
running. And solo traveling gives me the ability to do
Mhm.
what I want, when I want, how I want. I don't get an answer to nobody and I'm
Nobody.
on my own schedule. So that is the beautiful thing about solo traveling, and I love it.
Well, tell me this, because you know, women are always very cautious about traveling alone because they hear or allow themselves to just cave into these stories of don't travel alone, they'll be suspect and things of that nature. What gave you the permission to travel by yourself, and what could you say to women about doing that in safety?
Well, what I always tell people is there's danger everywhere. It doesn't matter if you go on vacation in another country, if you go on vacation within the 50 United States or whatever.
Hmm.
It doesn't matter. You need to take the same precautions that you would take at home when you travel. It's the same thing. Do not be afraid. And I hear people say that a lot. Oh, aren't you scared of going? I'm not scared of going anywhere because I use the same instincts. I take the same precautions I do when I'm at home. I mean, I've never had an issue when I've traveled.
Hmm.
Never had an issue. I had issues at home.
Right.
And home
Right.
in my own backyard is when I get have most of my issues if I go somewhere.
Hmm.
But traveling abroad, if you are a people person, you meet people. And most people, when they go on vacation, they just want to have fun. They want to
Hmm.
meet new people. They want to interact. Don't let traveling alone deter you because you're going to miss out on a lot. I've met so many people from all over the world, all walks of life. And it's so funny that you asked me that question because I just got back from Jamaica.
Woo,
And
let's talk about that trip.
yeah, and one of the guys who was doing this tour that I was on, and he said, "Are you here alone?" And I said, "Yeah, I'm traveling by myself." He's like, "What?" He was like, "Traveling alone?" He was like, "That can't be fun." I said, "Baby, when you do it like I do it, It's a whole lot of fun.
Listen, I was living so vicariously through every picture. Seeing you, I went on and started typing in excursions for myself when I go to the Virgin Islands next month. Yes. Baby, you inspired me from Jamaica. But tell us some of the things that you did there when your guide was asking you about traveling alone.
Yeah, so and this was a young guy. He was around my kid's age. He was 19, and he was just like, so why do you travel by yourself? And I said, well, the main reason I travel by myself is because I like to be on my own time. I don't like to have to worry about this person not want to do this. If I want to veer off and do something extra, I don't want the next person to be like, oh, I don't want to do that. No. And I said, and then I get to meet people. I meet people. I hang out with those people. And believe it or not, a lot of those people that I meet, I'm still friends with. I take vacations with now because we just hit it off so well. And so I just got to talking to him. And then he ended up taking me to a different part of the secret lake that I was at, or secret river that I was at.
Yeah,
Secret
that was
Falls.
beautiful.
Took me to a different place, and I saw a whole new world that was absolutely beautiful. And it was so funny because as we're walking, I said, you're getting a lesson in how I travel by myself. I said, I may be alone, but I'm never alone. I said, see the interaction we're having, how I'm getting to know you, how you're showing me different air. That's what I do. And that's what you should do when you go on vacation. Meet the locals. The locals will take you to spots. And I know you saw my pictures, but locals will take you to spots that the tourist companies just don't take you. So you want to see the authentic Jamaica or whatever country you go into, meet the locals. The locals will tell you where to go, or they'll take you.
Yeah,
they'll take you.
That was so phenomenal.
Yeah, meet people. I met a guy at the hotel that worked at the hotel. We hung out the entire time. He took me to so many different places and showed me so many parts, how the locals do. They had a drag race. We went to that. Yes,
what?
baby. They had a drag. Now the cops shut it down, but they had it. And I was able to go see that. I would have never known that unless I was talking with the local. I went to the local beach where they have a beach party at night.
Wow.
So nice. Wouldn't have known that unless I met a local, and the local took me to where the people are. So you can have a whole lot of fun. I will say this. If you are not a people person, if you are the type of person where you need people around you in order to have a good time, I don't suggest solo travel.
Right.
But if you're the type of person that likes to get out, meet new people, and try new things, definitely do it. It's not, believe it or not, it's not scary.
And it's not. Bahamas was my spot. Like, I was going to the Bahamas every other weekend. I'll go to Costa Rica by myself, to the Dominican by myself. You know, one of the things that I found, though, a lot of people don't like themselves well enough to be by themselves.
And that's sad.
That's the
I don't have that
part.
Problem.
Not at all. Not at all.
That problem at all.
What
I
would
love
you
being with myself.
Exactly. You know, I'm a therapist. And so I just want to take a moment and encourage people to learn to love you enough to not wait on folks to have a good time. Because people ain't gonna never have enough money. They ain't gonna never want to do anything. If it's in your heart to do, go ahead and do it.
Do it. And another thing, people will want you to downgrade your experience just so that. And I've done that many times, but I don't do that anymore. I will never downgrade my experience for anyone. And I don't suggest anybody do that. If you're going to spend the money to go to these countries, have a ball. Do whatever it is that you want to do while you're there. And if the person that, you know, if you decide to take someone, if they can't do it, you need to go without them.
Exactly. What would you say to people? Because one of the reasons why I like to travel to these countries and just different locations by myself is because I leave my Western mindset and expectations at home. What do you say to people who show up in other folks' countries trying to get them to be Westernized?
Baby. Let me put it like this. I've traveled to a lot of countries, and that is like my one pet peeve when I travel places, because we as Americans, we expect everybody to come over here and know English, know our customs, know how to act, all of that. We expect so much from people that come here. But then when we go to their countries, we expect them to be Americanized. And that's not how, no. When you go to their countries, you need to prepare yourself. You need to do a little bit of research, a little bit of history. They got translators that attempt to speak. I always attempt to speak the language. And if I botch it up, guess what? We doing hand gestures, we doing sign language, and I'm breaking out the translator app.
Right.
You have to at least attempt when you go to these other countries. That's why they don't like Americans, because they feel like we're so entitled. And to a point, they're correct. We do feel like we're entitled. Like,
like we owe them, they owe us to visit their country.
We're not supposed to, conform to that country of where you are. No, baby, that's not how it works. They appreciate. I went to France. They appreciated the fact that I butchered the language, but they appreciated the fact that I tried. I tried, and that's what people have to understand. When you go to some of these other countries, the people are friendly, the people are nice.
Yes.
But they take offense to Americans sometimes coming over there and try to tell them how to do and how to be and how to act. No, baby.
But they should take offense. They should take offense because it's not our country. It's theirs.
It's their country.
We chose to go to their country, and how dare you? I was laughing at my sister when we was in the Dominican because she knows a little Spanish. And she ultimately said, slow down a minute, slow down. I said, you can't tell them to slow down how they speak Spanish in their country. And we laughed about it because I began to see other Americans do that. And I was just like, you know what, y'all just don't know how to go anywhere and enjoy being there and learning new cultures. What are your thoughts about getting off of those different exclusive hotels and all of that, and going out into the community, learning from the natives of the land? What are your thoughts?
See, girl, you just hitting all my stuff, because when I travel to other countries, that's exactly what I do. I stay in locations where the locals are, one, because I feel like the locals needs the money more than if you stay in like the city, or like for France, for example. We went to France. We didn't stay in the city of Paris. We stayed in a town about, depending on traffic, no more than 45 minutes. That's driving. The train took a little bit longer, but about 45 minutes outside of Paris, because I wanted to be in the countryside. I wanted to be where the locals were. I felt like the little shops and towns around there needed the money more than the city of Paris.
Oh, I like that.
Everybody's there spending money. So I felt like my money would be better spent in the smaller towns outside of Paris where the locals were. So whenever I travel, I always try to stay countryside and not city side. Because then you get to see the people, you get to interact with the people. A lot of times when you go to whatever, Italy, France, whatever, and you stay in the big cities, to me, it feels modernized. It's like going to another country, but you're in Chicago or New York City or something like that. Is the feel that I get. I don't feel like it's authentic. So I'll do Airbnbs in some places to be, with the countryside. I'm getting ready to do this big Europe trip. We're staying in hostels. We're not staying in the we're not staying in the big fancy hotels. We're staying in hostel now. Everybody always say, oh, haven't you seen that movie? Yes, I saw the movie Hostel. We're not staying in those creepy hostels. They have some very, very nice hostels, and you don't have to stay in a dormitory. Now, I am going to do it in London. I'm going to stay in a dormitory because I want that authentic European travel experience. It's not going to be one of the big ones. It's only going to have like 4 beds, so 4 ladies doing and staying in this hostel. And then the other hostels, I'll have private room and private bath. But when you go, what is the point of going if you're not going to immerse yourself in the way they travel, in their culture, in trying to learn the language? Because they'll teach us some of their language, or they'll teach us how to cook their food and different things like that. That's the kind of experiences that I like to have when I go to it. I want to feel like I'm a local.
Exactly. It's kind of like that movie. I don't know if you've ever seen it, Eat, Love, Pray. Like, that's one of my favorite movies.
I'm going to do a test in it. Yes, I'm going to do a test in it.
And I'm going to go to Budapest. That's my that's one of my bucket lists, is because I want to be able to go. That inspired me to say, don't worry about people, just go. You got a passport, let's go.
Yeah.
Let's rock this out and experience things, and just seeing how, if you give yourself that permission. I'm an introvert, so I'm not one that's going to jump out and just really start with a whole group of people talking, but I will talk to the person next to me. And I will strike up conversations and things of that nature, but I also know that I like my alone time. But it's not going to stop me from experiencing the culture. So when you talk to people, when they contact, and make sure I'm pronouncing your travel company right, Tandem Travel.
Yes, Tandem Travel.
TandemTravel.com. When they contact you and they talk to you about traveling alone and or even booking groups, what are some things that you find out from them that helps you find them the best deals when they travel?
Well, the first two things that I ask about is flexibility, because flexibility really is key to finding a really great deal. If you have enough flexibility, you can find some really, really inexpensive vacations. This Jamaica trip that I took, it was less than $800, and that was the flight, the rental car, and an all-inclusive hotel that I stayed in.
Wow.
And it was less than $800 because my time is flexible. So I was able to find that deal. So flexibility is one. And then the main thing that I ask people is, what type of activities do you like to do? Because depending on the type of activities you like to do, I know where to send you. If you're an adventurous person, if you're looking for more relaxation or something like that, or more zen, as some people like to say, I can recommend an island for you to go to. I can recommend a place for you to stay. And so those are the two main things. And then the last thing is your budget. How much are you looking to spend? Now, when I look up things for people, I look it up as if I was the one going.
Right.
So I don't book no crap. So I'm not going to book crap for anybody.
And don't be coming with a Kroger budget trying to be at Trader Joe's.
Look, now wait a minute, because sometimes I can get you some stuff on a Kroger. I can get you some 5-star places on a Kroger budget. It just depends on the flexibility that you have. So if you have a lot of flexibility, you can get those type of deals. I mean, our Paris trip, the resort was what, 200 and something bucks for 7 days.
Really?
So, yes.
Oh yeah, we gonna talk, because I need to be scheduling some stuff. I've been doing my own thing, but yeah, we gonna talk, because I'm Keep going.
Most people for that trip paid less than $800 with the round trip ticket to Paris and the room itself, and we had a rental car, so we split the cost on that. But a lot of people went over there for less than $1,000.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. If you plan ahead and give yourself permission to travel, you can work with someone, because are you set up to where people can do payment plans as well?
Yes, depending on how much time you have, because the thing about vacations, unless you do like where you can reserve now and pay later, most of the time you can do a payment plan. But it depends on when you're leaving. So if you give yourself enough time, you can break those payments up into easy payments. But some people will do a last minute trip, and sometimes they have to be paid off within 30, 45 days, 90 days sometimes before you actually leave. So it really depends on how much time you give yourself. But most of the time, yes, you can do some sort of payment plan. Now, if you're flying somewhere, the airline ticket has to be paid up front.
Right.
So that part can't be broken up, but the room, if you get a car, something like that, those can be broken up. But most of the time, the airline do require you to go ahead and pay for your plane ticket. So your deposit can be, depending on where you're going, can be, a little up there, and then they break the rest of them up. So it just depends. It just depends.
And if people wanted to begin traveling, and they don't have an idea, they don't have a passport, where are some places that they can go? Because I know a lot of people still don't have passports. Why? I don't know.
There's a lot of people that don't have passports, but I'm going to say this. So the quickest way to do it is to go to a passport office, but a lot of times there are hardly any appointments to go to a passport office to be able to do that. And you have to be within 2 weeks in order to do that expedited passport. But the easiest thing to do is to go to the post office and do it far in advance from when you're actually leaving. And let me also say this, most places that you travel to international, that passport on the back end needs to expire at least 3 to 6 months before you get back. And a lot of people, I just had a client who they're getting ready to go to Italy on the 20th of this month, and the mom's passport expired in December. And I was like, she can't go. She gotta she gotta extend that passport. It's got to be 6 months past the date when she gets ready. And we got her straight, but we scrambled to find some place for her to get her passport. She ended up she lives in New York. They were trying to send her to Washington, to Puerto Rico, just for an appointment to get an expedited passport. You don't want to fall into that category.
Right.
And at the last minute, she was able to find one in Buffalo, New York. So she was able to drive to Buffalo in order to get it. But when I tell you the stress level was like up here,
I bet.
in order for her to get that passport so she could go to Italy, it was real. It was real. So you need your birth certificate, you need a photo ID, go to the passport office and go ahead and apply for it. They send it off and they'll get it back to you. Right now, it's taking a minute for the passport office to do passports. So like I said, give yourself at least 6 months to be able to get a passport, and then keep it up once you get it. Don't let it expire, because it's a lot faster to renew than it is to do that initial application.
Because I just renewed mine, so we ready to get some stamping going.
2028. I'm good. Now, here's another thing I'm gonna tell folks, because this is gonna happen beginning next year. Make sure you get a real ID, because you're gonna need to have a real ID in order to travel anywhere in the U.S. If you don't have a real ID, they're not gonna let you on the plane.
So how do they apply for a real ID?
Go to the driver's license.
Okay, so just your normal driver's license?
Normal driver's license.
Okay.
They've already switched them over to the real ID.
Okay.
It has extra added security in that ID.
Now, one of the things, people are always concerned about right now is the COVID pandemic and traveling. What suggestions or advice do you have in order for people to begin traveling during this whole COVID process? And what you cooking? Because I know you're cooking something good.
Salmon, and I'm taking it out the oven so we don't overcook. So sorry about that.
No, you're good, because I love whatever you cook. So that's all right. I'll be in Florida soon. I'll be in Florida.
So, well, they've just lifted a lot of the travel restrictions dealing with COVID. So you no longer have to wear a mask on the planes. Internationally, depending on where you're going, you may have to, but for the most part, they have gotten rid of a lot of the restrictions. Me personally, because COVID is still out here, and now they got this monkeypox. So I wear a mask. Yes, I wear a mask when I fly. I don't care. I love traveling, but I'm not trying to get sick, and I have not been sick from COVID, and I'm trying to keep it that way. Still, you take your precautions. I carry hand sanitizer. I'm always sanitizing my hands. I'm always washing my hands. So you have to take the same precautions that you do at home when you travel abroad. A lot of places you go abroad no longer require a negative test to get into the countries. Some of them don't even require you to be vaccinated. I am vaccinated. I don't have a problem being vaccinated. I suggest folks get vaccinated, because you just never know. I mean, you might be that one person who get it and die.
Exactly.
You could have, minimized it by being vaccinated. So, I tell people, if you haven't been vaccinated, get vaccinated. If you don't get vaccinated, then you really need to take more precautions.
Exactly. And if you're not vaccinated, you definitely need to mask up.
Mask up. Definitely.
I'm vaccinated, I'm boosted, and I'm getting ready to go get my second booster. For me, because I'm asthmatic. I'm not taking a chance. I never had COVID. I don't want to take a chance with COVID, but I do want to travel. And so no one can force anyone to do anything outside of what they desire. But, we don't know from day to day what's going on. Just be cautious as you travel.
It's because
and have fun. What are some of the how do I want to phrase this? What are some of the best excursions that you've taken?
Okay, so it's going to be a combination of 2 trips because I did just got back from Jamaica. And I don't know if you saw the picture online, but I did a dune buggy
Man,
run.
listen, you know I'm looking
And
for it. I'm looking for it when I go to the Virgin Islands.
yeah, so when I went, my motto is if I'm getting muddy, wet, dirty, I'm having fun. And so this was a combination of all that: mud, water, and speed. And so I went through this huge puddle. They captured some great photos of me going through this puddle. It was huge. It was wonderful. So I did the ATV, and then I did this real relaxing bamboo raft ride.
Really? Did I see that? I don't think
You
I saw that
did on
picture.
the Great River, and let me just say that excursion was
All that.
unexpected. There was a massage, and it was so relaxing. Then it kind of rained while I was having the massage, which made it even better. If you go to Jamaica, juicy adventures. That's all I gotta say. It was wonderful. It was
Okay.
wonderful. I did a rainforest tour. I did bobsledding.
I saw that.
Yes, I
That
did
was so fun to watch you do the bobsledding.
Yes, that was really fun. I did this
Excuse me.
ragamuffin ride, which kind of jerked you all around. It was weird. And then I did a secret river tour. I went this, because I like nature. I love water. So I was able to go see some of these falls that you wouldn't see otherwise. I had a tour guide who was taking me around to do different little things. I did this little Jamaican cooking class. So I did a lot of things on this one that I hadn't done before.
Nice.
So I wanted to try to do something different because usually when I go to Jamaica, I do Dunn's River Falls, I do the ATVs, I do the what do you call it, parasail and that kind of stuff. So I didn't do any of that. I said, okay, I'm going to do something different. And it was nice. And then we hit the club. It was beautiful. We went and saw some different sites. I can tell you the drag racing, where the locals hang out at the beach and the beach party and all that kind of stuff. So that was all different stuff. Now, when I went to Aruba, I did some cliff jumping. I did some hiking, some parasailing, some ATV riding. I did snuba. I did flyboarding. So I'm always looking for adventurous things to do whenever I travel, something that I haven't done before. And when I tell you it didn't disappoint, it didn't disappoint. Oh, and the piece de resistance in Jamaica, we went to this place called Luminous Lagoon. And they have these like microorganisms or something that's in the water. So when you get in the water and you move around, the water turns blue.
I saw that.
Yes.
And I saw that video. I was like, whoa, wait a minute.
It was super cool and creepy at the same time. But wait, though. So when you got into the water, the surface of the water was cold, but the bottom half of the water was so warm, like bathwater warm.
Really?
Yes. It was creepy, but it was like so cool. Like you will go anywhere and you will never see anything like that.
Wow.
It was awesome.
When I tell you the vicariousness that I lived through your pictures, like I would jump on Facebook just so that I could see what you posted, because it was just exciting, because I know society says, women need to be safe. They don't need to do this. They don't need to do that. I can tell you that the only restrictions that anyone has is the restrictions that you put yourself in.
Exactly.
Don't
and
allow
I have
society to do that.
No restrictions on things that I will do or try. I'll try anything once, and if I don't like it, I won't do it again. But the one thing I won't do is not travel because people say, oh, it's not safe for a single female to travel. Yes, it is. Yeah, I'm gonna take the same precautions that I take when I'm at home, and it's perfectly safe.
Exactly. Giving yourself that permission to break loose, so that you won't have those, well, I wish I coulda, I woulda, I shoulda. Just do it. Just do it.
When I leave this world, they're gonna say that lady did any and everything that she wanted to do. And when I tell you I do any and everything I want to do, I do any and everything.
Now I know you. I know you. So listen, y'all. When she says she's gonna do any and everything that she wants to do, that is the thing that I love about Sonja, is that there are no limits.
Not
no limits. I mean, she'll introduce you to stuff and you're just like, Sonja, She's like, come on, just try. He's like, okay.
Let's try
Because
it.
one, I trust you because you know I don't like too many people, but
I know.
I trust you. And not only that, I know that you're not talking from a brochure, but you're talking from personal experience.
Mm-hmm.
What would be some last words that you would say to travel consumers about getting in contact with you, traveling solo, and just taking some risk?
So the biggest thing that I always tell people is you only get one life to live.
Mm-hmm.
And living it scared, for me, is not an option.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to travel and you want to see this world, or you want to get out of your comfort zone, do it. Don't let anybody tell you what you can and can't do. Only you know what you can and can't do, and what you're capable of, and what you're willing to risk or not risk, do or not do, see or not see.
Mm-hmm.
There are no limits. There are no limits to what you can do. And when
Mm-hmm.
people say, "Oh, I can't travel because of money," yes, you can. There's so many different ways for you to be a plan. Before I got to where I am today,
Mm-hmm.
when I first started traveling at the age of 18. I
Mm.
am 47 now, and slowly built myself up to the travel schedule that I have today. When I
Mm-hmm.
first started, it was one trip a year. It was with girlfriends, it was with sisters. And I literally just started traveling solo.
Mm-hmm.
I literally just started traveling solo because whenever I would put anything out, people would always want to get on. And I
Mm.
finally had to say, no, I'm going to start doing some stuff just for me, by myself, so that I can do what I want to do. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say to folks, if you want to get in touch with me, if you want to see the kind of fun and the kind of life you can be living, people always tell me I'm living vicariously through you. I want to be like you when I grow up. I want to be like me when I grow up.
Yes.
Don't be like me when you grow up. Be like you and go do
Mm-hmm.
something. Stop living life scared.
Mm-hmm.
Stop talking about how bored you are.
Right.
You're in control of what it is that you do and what it is that you don't do. So if it's something you
Right.
want to do,
Mm-hmm.
just go do it. And
Why
if
not?
traveling and adventure, if that's something that you're looking forward to and you don't know how to get started,
Mm-hmm.
definitely you can contact me. Go on my social media pages. You will get to see how I do, how I live, where I go, the adventures that I have, and that might inspire you to do something more than what you're doing now.
Mm-hmm. And what's the social media page name?
So Honey Love, HONEELOVE 40. That is my Instagram. My
Mm-hmm.
Facebook is Sunny Ruby, SUNNE Ruby, RUBY. And then I have a TikTok page. Can't remember what I think it's Sunny 38.
Okay.
SUNNE 38. I need to change all those and make them the same so I can
Yes, and
remember
that's
it.
one marketing thing that I learned, and this is for anybody out there that's trying to do their own thing. Get one name
Yeah,
to identify you across all of the social media networks so that
yeah,
you know it's just there. That's your brand. That's who
yeah,
you are.
yeah.
I'm digging Sunny vibes. I am digging Sunny
Now,
vibes.
that's my YouTube channel, but I need to get better at posting on my YouTube channel. Now, I post to all the other ones, but my
Mhm.
YouTube channel, yeah, that's still a work in progress. I'm gonna get better at that. I'm trying to
Mhm.
hire somebody to do that part for me. But yeah, I would say traveling is, well, it's my passion.
Mhm.
It is a must for me. It is part of my mental health
Mhm.
journey.
Excuse me.
It is my way of taking care of myself, my wellness.
Mhm.
I literally would not be able to function if I did not take a mental health break and
Mhm.
get away from everyone and everything by way of vacation.
Mhm.
And I suggest it's a way for me to pamper myself. And I
Absolutely.
suggest we as women, we don't do enough of that.
Mhm.
We don't. We take care of everyone else and we never take care of ourselves. So this was my way. Now I cranked it up. I've always been a traveler, but when my last child left home,
Mhm.
I cranked it up and I
Mhm.
started vacationing practically every month, a couple of times a month, because I need that mental health break.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I suffer from, depression
Mm-hmm.
and I had some anxiety because of some things that happened to me, and I'm processing and working through all of that. And I'm doing great now,
Mm-hmm.
mental wise,
Mm-hmm.
health wise. I'm doing great. But it's because I got back on that horse again and started
Mm-hmm.
doing the things that I love, the
And I'm
things that
glad you
I'm
brought that
passionate
up.
about. Yes, the things that I'm
Exactly.
passionate about. My therapist worked with me I've been in therapy since I was 19.
Mm-hmm.
I hadn't always been consistent, but for the
Mm-hmm.
last 10 years, I've been very consistent with talking with my therapist and
Mm-hmm.
them helping me to stay on track to where I need to be. And so now, and my therapist is like, oh my God, when you first came versus what you are now and how you're
Mm-hmm.
doing now, big difference, y'all. Big, 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 big difference. But
And so many
getting
people don't
back,
understand that
yes.
the importance of a therapist, addressing your mental health concerns, their anxiety and their depression. And I'm gonna put this out there, and I apologize, I did cut you off. Jobs don't care anything about you. You are a number on a job. If you're more loyal to that job than you are to yourself, you're gonna burn out. You're gonna crash. Depression, anxiety, bad health, bad sleeping habits and patterns are going to come up. You have to give yourself permission to say, I need to be okay with me. Get you a therapist, and by no means am I putting myself out there because I got a full caseload myself, but find you a therapist that you can communicate with, that know you well enough to be real with you, to say you need some mental health days. I personally believe outside of your normal 2 days off, if you work a 5-day work week, you need at least 1 to 2 mental health days a month. Jobs don't want to do that, but that is always my recommendation, 1 to 2 days of mental health a month to reset.
Yes.
How does that help you?
Well, depugging gives me a chance to, for one thing, not get up so doggone early in the morning.
Whew, girl.
That's one. But it also helps me to unplug. I'm very engaged and active at work. I have a lot more responsibilities on me at work from supervisors and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes it can be overwhelming. I have some people that I've trained who I'm no longer officially training them, but they still come to me for answers, and I have sites that
Mm-hmm.
come to me for answers for that. So some days can be very, very overwhelming.
Right.
And for my own sanity, and so I don't get burned out, I will take a mental health day.
Mm-hmm.
I will take a vacation
Mm-hmm.
just to step away from the day to day
Mm-hmm.
and the
Mm-hmm.
hustle and bustle of work and responsibility and all of that. Going on vacation gives me a chance to unplug from all of that. And I don't
Mm-hmm.
care what anyone says, yeah, you got to make money, you got to pay bills, but that stuff will be there. You have to unplug from all the responsibility and just kind of go away and cut loose and be fancy free and let other people take care of you. That's
And
the thing.
even
Let
if
other
you
people take care of you.
can't travel to an island, if you can't travel to another country, find you a Airbnb or something to just escape
Mm-hmm.
for a couple of days and do something that you hadn't seen in your own city if you can't afford to travel. But
Yeah.
make plans for yourself to go sit by a lake somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Get
And
in the
I'll do
sun.
that. I'll
Mm-hmm.
do that too. I'll take a walk because I have lakes that are close by, and I'll take a walk to unplug. Sometimes I'll even turn my house into a little vacation spot if I can't afford to go somewhere right then and there, or if I have other things that I need to do where I can't leave. So
Well,
I'll turn
talk
my house
about
into a
that.
vacation spot. Yes.
How do you turn your house into a vacation spot? That's a good topic.
So, but when I lived in it, I moved. So when I lived in this house, I had a pool.
Mm-hmm.
And what I would do is set up the bar.
Mm-hmm.
I set up the bar. I put all
Excuse
of
me.
my little water toys into the pool because it
Mm-hmm.
always feels like I'm in the Caribbean. I turn on my Caribbean music, my Shell
Mm-hmm.
McDonald. I turn on his radio station and I get my tropical drinks. Sometimes I'll even bust out the candles or decorate.
Mhm.
Sometimes I'm over the top. Or I'll decorate so that it feels like I'm on a Caribbean island. And I'll just
Mm.
relax and have fun on the lawn chair and just do me.
Oh,
Get
yeah.
up, do a TikTok or dance around the house or, whatever it is that I feel like doing. And that would be my staycation, but it would be turned up a notch.
Nice.
Yes.
Nice. So
So,
even
you
if
can't
you
always
can't,
go. Yeah.
mhm, figure out a way. I always talk about making your bedroom your sanctuary,
Mm.
making it a place where you feel the most peaceful in your house. Excuse me, I apologize. But turning other areas into a staycation, go to the Dollar Tree. They have all kind of decorations
All
that
kinds of
you
stuff.
can do, all kind of stuff to really just change. Sometimes if we can just change our immediate environment to something different,
Yes.
it'll give us that release of anxiety and depression.
Yes.
Sonja, I want to say thank you so very much for coming on Authentically Peculiar with Marcia. It has been a blast. I cannot wait to get to Florida to hug your neck and spend some time with you. It is truly, truly, thank you for inspiring the audience to do solo travel,
Yes.
removing the fears, giving themselves the permission to take off some of these limits and restrictions.
Yes.
You all go out to Sonja's social media pages, all the different ones listed. I'll have them also in the description. Also go to
Tandev Travel.
tandemtravel.com. That's TANDEVTRAVEL.com. Reach out to her. Go ahead, set up those times so that you can begin to experience some travel. I want you to remember, keep living your best authentic life. Check us out again on Authentically Peculiar with Marcia on your favorite streaming app, and we'll see you soon. Take good care.